Hi everyone, in this video we are going to model this stainless steel tripod. By doing so, we will be able to learn the following. 1. Projections. 2. How to use loft once again. 3. Constraints. And by popular demand, I'll be showing you how to render realistic images of this stainless steel tripod. Some of the images I got after rendering mine are as follows. Before we begin modeling the tripod and render it, I'll first of all like us to study what we call constraints. Constraints are basically relationships or rules that you set between one or more sketch entities. So if I have this line here and this line, and I want them to be parallel to each other, I can set it using the constraints. If I want this point to always be on this line, I can also set it using constraints. If I want this side of this geometric figure to always be vertical, I can set it to be vertical. So the icons you see here, together with the ones you can get when you click on this arrow, are used for constraining the sketch features. I'll now explain the functions of each and every one of the sketch constraint tools. The first one here is used for making a line either vertical or horizontal. Now, if the line is close to being horizontal, this tool will make it horizontal. And if it is close to being vertical, this tool will also make it vertical. For example, when you take this line is close to being horizontal. So when I click on this tool, it will make it to become horizontal. And then this line is almost vertical. And if I click on this tool followed by this one, it will make it to become vertical. Let us give it a try. So I'll click on the horizontal vertical tool, and then I'll click on this line. You notice that it becomes horizontal. And if I click on this one, it becomes vertical. So that is one way you can constrain a line to either be vertical or horizontal. The next one here is the coincidence. You can use this to make 2 points to coincide or be coincident on each other. That is, they will share the same point. Let me do a demo for you to see. So you click on the coincidence, and then you can click on this point followed by that point, and then you notice that the point now falls on each other, or they coincide with each other, or are coincident on one another. I'll be using this tool in the next section of this tutorial. The next tool I want to talk about is the tangent constraint. If I have this circle here, I have this line here, I can constrain the side of this geometric shape to be tangent to this circle by clicking on the tangent tool. I click on this line followed by the circle, and then the line now becomes tangent to the circle. The next one I want to talk about is the equal feature. So I can use the equal feature to make two lines to be equal to each other. And I'll be using that in drawing the tripod. So I can make this line and this line to become equal to each other by clicking on this one and that one. And then you notice that they become equal to each other. Don't pay attention to what happened over here. I tried copying this image and then trying to paste it somewhere below the screen so that when I am teaching and it goes wrong, I can refer to that one. So that's a result of that. Now the next thing here is the parallel constraint. So if you click on the parallel constraint, you can use it to make these two lines to become parallel to each other. The next one I'll talk about is the perpendicular constraint. So I can click on the perpendicular constraint, click on this side and that line, and they automatically become perpendicular to each other. Now, the fix and then unfix is used to lock some geometric shape at where they are so that no constraint can be able to modify them. Now, the next constraint I have here is the midpoint constraint. So to do that, I will draw a line like this, and then I want my line to meet this point in its middle. So what I will do is I'll click on the midpoint constraint, click on this line, followed by this point, and then my line now joins this line in the middle. You notice this triangle appearing there, showing you that, hey, this line and this line are joining in the middle. So I can use the horizontal vertical tool to make this line vertical. The next one I like to talk about is the concentric. You can use this to make 2 points or 2 circles to be concentric to each other. So I can click here, click on this guy, click on this guy, and voila, these 2 circles become concentric. And then collinear. I can use the collinear to make a certain geometric shape to fall on one line. Let's say I have this line here. I want this point to be collinear or to be on the same line as this. All I have to do is to click on the collinear tool, click on this line and that point. I think I have an error because I've already constrained this. So let me draw another line over here, and then if I click on the collinear tool, I can click on this line, that point, and you see that they all become collinear, or they'll be on the same line. The next constraint here is the symmetry tool. So you can use this symmetry tool to have 2 geometric shapes to be symmetric along an axis. So the explanation here is very, very clear. When you have 2 geometric shapes and you want them to be symmetric along a certain axis, all you have to do is to specify the axis and the 2 sketch features, and they will all be symmetric around the axis. The next one is the curvature constraint. This one can be used to smoothen 2 curves or 2 splines so that they become uniform splines. You can Google how to use the curvature constraint on your own. When you are done constraining your sketch, all you have to do is to click on Finish Sketch and you are good to go. Let us now model the stainless steel tripod. I'll begin by clicking on the Create Sketch, followed by selecting the top plane. After that, I will draw a triangle. My goal is to have the triangle to be of 3 equal sides. So I'll draw a triangle like this. And then I'll use the dimension tool to dimension one side to be 60 millimeters. And then I'll use the constraint tool over here to make all the sides equal. That is, I'll use the equal constraints to make the 3 sides equal. So I'll click on the equal sign, followed by this side and that side. You notice that there is an equal sign on the 2 sides now. Because this side and this side are equal, automatically this side also becomes equal. Now, the next thing I'll do is I am coming to create an offset plane so that when I create the offset plane, I'll locate the middle of the projection of this triangle, and then I will loft this triangle to it. Let me demonstrate that for you to see. So I'll click on Construct, followed by offset plane. I'll click on this geometric figure, and then I'll make the offset plane to be at 60 millimeters. I'll then click on the new offset plane I have created, and then I'll project this triangle to it. But I want to project it with the construction lines. So I'll come here, and then I'll click on create, followed by project, and then you can see that the shortcut for project is P. So I'll click on project, and then I'll click here, click here, click here, and then I'll click on the construction line symbol over here, followed by OK, and then I'll click on finish sketch. So you notice that we now have another triangle right above this one, which has been drawn with construction lines. My next goal is to locate the middle of this triangle so that I can loft this bottom triangle to it. To do that, I'll click on sketch once more, and then I'll select my projected triangle, and then I'll click on the line tool. After that, I'll just draw two lines. Let me make the line a construction line. So I'll click on line followed by X, and then I'll draw two construction lines. Line followed by X, and then I'll draw two construction lines. I prefer that they will be crossing each other like this. And then, good. Now, the next thing I'll do is I want to use these two lines to locate the middle of the projected triangle using constraints. So my goal is simple. I'll make this line locate the midpoint of this line, and then I'll also make this point to locate the midpoint of this line, and then I'll make this point and this point to coincide with each other or to be coincidental. After that, I'll make this point and that point to also be coincident on each other. Let me demo that for you to see. So I'll click on the midpoint symbol over here, and then I'll click on this line followed by this point. Then you immediately notice that this line and then this line are now meeting at the midpoint of this line. I'll now use the coincident constraint, which is this one, and then I'll click on this point followed by that point, and then you see that the 2 points will now coincide with each other. I'll do the same thing again for this point and that point to make them to coincide with each other, and then I'll use the midpoint constraint once more to click on this line and this point to make them to join at the midpoint of this line. The next thing I will do is to create a point that is in the middle of this new triangle I have created, and then I'll click on finish sketch. So at the end of the day, I will have another triangle projected above the initial one I have drawn, and then I've been able to locate the middle of it, and then I can loft this triangle to it. Let me do that for you to see. So I'll click once more on loft, and then I'll follow it by this triangle and then this point, and then I'll press on OK. After doing that, I now have my tripod. The next thing I have to do now is to shell it, and then when I shell it, I can be able to create holes on the side. So I'll use the shell command, click on the bottom of it, and then I'll select a shell thickness of 4 millimeters. After that, this is how it will look. The next thing I'll do is to create holes on all the 3 sides, and I'll use the hole wizard. I'll click on the 3 sides one after the other, and then I'll reposition my hole properly, and I'll change the settings of the hole here. I want it to go through 4 mm of the shell, and then I want my hole to be of diameter 25 mm. So I'll press on OK. My hole has vanished. And then it has given me an error here. Let me try it once more. So I'll click on this side, and then I think I already have the settings, and I press on OK. So you see that I am having my first hole over here, and then I now have to turn it around using the orbit tool. Click on the hole wizard once more, click on this side, move the hole a little bit, and then I press on OK because I still have the same settings over there. And I'll move it to this side, click on the hole, locate the hole location here, click on the hole, and then locate the hole here, position it properly, after that followed by enter. So I'll end up with a tripod looking something like this. Let us now move on to render our stainless steel tripod. Rendering simply means generating beautiful images of what you have modeled. To do that, I'll click on the design button over here to change the workspace from design to render. When you click on the render button, you see that the toolbar changes and new icons appear over here. Let me now explain what each icon is doing. After that, we can render. The first icon here is the appearance. It is the same as the one we have used in the modeling mode. You simply use this to change the material, the color, and feel of your model like we did in the previous tutorials. The next thing that you have here is you have the scene settings. Now, kindly note that there are two approaches for rendering in Autodesk Fusion. We have the normal rendering approach, which you can either do in the cloud or you do locally on your computer. And then we have the in-canvas rendering. The in-canvas rendering simply will render the object for you right here whilst you are watching it. So the settings over here are for the local or the cloud rendering, and then the settings here are for the in-canvas rendering. Now, this is to change the appearance. The next thing is to change the scene settings for the local or the cloud rendering. The next item here is the decal. The decal can be used to add images or logos to what you want to render. And then the next item here is the texture map control. This one can help you to fine-tune the appearance of how the rendering has been done. And then this is the in-canvas renderer. If you change the appearance and then you want to render in the canvas, all you have to do is to click on this play button over here and it will start rendering for you. And then you can be able to save the image that it has rendered using this icon. You can change the in-canvas rendering settings by clicking on the middle icon over here. Now, after setting up everything over here, you click on this icon to do the cloud or the local rendering. Let's now get to work. So I'll click on the appearance to change the appearance of my 3D model to stainless steel. So I've already done that already. So I'll select the polished stainless steel, drag it, and then drop it onto my model. I'll make sure all the sides have my stainless steel appearance. And then I'll press on close. Now, let me now go to the settings for the local or the cloud rendering and explain how to change things over there. When you click on the settings button, you have a dialog box like this. And the first thing that you see is the brightness. So you can use this to change the lighting. That's the amount of light that is appearing in your model. And then over here, you can change the background of your rendering. You can choose a solid color so it stays like the way it is now, or you can choose environment so that it will adopt the environment that you set for it over here. It's appearing dark now, so let us light it up a little. Now, the next few things are used for the ground, like where it is sitting. And then you can use the menu here to change the camera settings. You can either use this to change it to orthographic or perspective. You can Google perspective and orthographic projections to understand those better. So it is now on perspective. This is what happens when it is on orthographic. And then this one here is the exposure. I will leave the rest of the settings here because they are self-explanatory. The next item I would like you to understand is the environment library. So you can click on that. So as at now, it is on the cool light environment. So you can click on the environment, grab it, and then put it onto the model. The one I used in my earlier models were the field. So you can click on that, drag it, and then your 3D model will now appear like it is on a field. All right, so let us now say it is on the field, on a football park, and then we can now render. So there are a lot of other options here that you can choose from. You can play with them as much as you can, and then when you are done, you press on close. So I'll use my mouse to reorient it a little to the way I like it, and then I can now click on the render button here to render. When I clicked on the render button, it says I should save my design before I can render it. So let me now do that by clicking on the save button, and then I'll call it stain. And then I'll click on the blue save button over here, followed by the render. So I need to wait a little bit for it to sink into the cloud before I can render. So when I click on the render, I get another dialog box like this. So you can choose this guy or you can choose this guy. When you choose the cloud renderer, it will render for you in the cloud using the computers owned by Autodesk. Or when you choose the local renderer, it will render with your machine's own CPU. So I'll choose the local render because my machine is powerful. But if your machine is very slow, choose the cloud renderer. But what that means is you would have to wait for some time before it will render for you. So let me go with the local renderer. Now pay attention to the size of the image you are going to derive at the top over here. When you are done, you can just click on the render button and it will tell you that local rendering has started. You now see an icon appearing in this rendering gallery to show you how fast the rendering process is going. So you need to wait based on how powerful your computer is, and then it will render for you. So I am some few seconds away from rendering this. You can do more. You can change the orientation, click on the render once more, and then render, and you have another rendering taking place over here. You can, I'll just do 2 for now so that I can keep the video short. So let's wait for this one to finish, and I'll show you how to save the image. So when you click on the rendered image, you have something looking like this. So you can click on this download button here and then save your rendering to a location that you prefer on your machine. So you can go back to that location and you'll be able to see what you have rendered.